Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in here, out there. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. You know, humans have spent millennia asking God, why do bad things happen to good people? And I've spent the last 5 years asking, why don't bad things happen to former White House strategist and man licking his lips, staring at a wounded pigeon, Steve Bannon? Well, it is possible that my prayers are about to be answered, because Bannon is one of the top witnesses that House investigators want to talk to about who planned the January 6th insurrection. They subpoenaed him, but he refused to cooperate. So last night, the committee brought the gavel down and voted unanimously to recommend charging Bannon with criminal contempt of Congress. Criminal contempt. Hell yeah! Criminal contempt makes sense to me because I feel a lot of contempt for that criminal. Now, this is a big moment, because while 650 members of the January 6th mob have been arrested for storming the Capitol, this is the first time we've seen any accountability for one of the big fish. Or in Bannon's case, one of those weird gelatinous fish that live in eternal darkness with spiky teeth and a lantern blob up here glowing out of their face. Marianas Trench. And it's going to feel great to see these consequences when they happen, if they happen, at a date to be named later. Because first, the contempt question will go to a vote in the full Democratic-controlled House. The contempt report will then be certified by Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, at which point the decision will be in the hands of the Department of Justice, who will evaluate the matter based on the facts and the law, and then decide whether to bring the case to a grand jury, who would have to decide whether to indict Bannon, at which point the case would go to federal district court in D.C. for trial, where Bannon would be able to defend himself, after which he might be convicted and face a fine of $100 to $100,000 and a jail sentence of 1 month to 1 year. But that process, even if Bannon was successfully prosecuted in jail, still wouldn't force him to disclose the information. In other words, justice. It reminds me of that famous scene from Taken.
If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will serve you a subpoena. Then, if you don't comply to that, the committee will vote to hold you in contempt of Congress.
Then you kill me?
No. Once that vote passes, the House has to also vote to hold you in contempt. Then once that passes, we refer the case to the Justice Department. Then the Justice Department will evaluate the matter, and they may or may not bring the case to a grand jury.
And then they kill me?
No! Then if you get convicted, you can get a fine or maybe a few months in prison.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go do more crimes then. Bye!
It's a good movie, quality movie. He's so good. He's so good. Anyway, somebody's got to bring the hammer down, because there are a lot of upcoming elections, and it would be nice if they did not end in a riot. For instance, there's the tight race for governor in Virginia between Democrat Terry McAuliffe and Republican Glenn Youngkin, a.k.a. the two most boring uncles at the family reunion. Both sides are bringing in the big guns and some loose cannons, like former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, seen here about to fight Steve Bannon for that wounded pigeon. Is this just last night? Last night, Rudy weighed in with an attack on Terry McAuliffe. And just to prepare you, Rudy bizarrely references a long-debunked early 90s scandal about the Clintons supposedly renting out the Lincoln bedroom. But that's not the weird part.
Virginia, vote against the man who dishonored our past by selling my bedroom hundreds and hundreds of times to scoundrels in a pay-for-play scheme. In my time, we had a name for men who sold bedrooms for one night. In your time, the name is Terry McAuliffe, and the Clinton flees once and for all.
That is undoubtedly the worst thing that ever happened to Abraham Lincoln. It's up there. It's high up there. Maybe not. It's one of the worst.
Honest Abe.
There's a lot to unpack in that video. Working from the top down, that's not a Lincoln hat. That's a Mad Hatter hat. Though compared to Rudy, he was a pretty reasonable hatter. And I'm not sure if I can place that accent. It's either British, Southern, or Cabernet. And Jim, please play that one part again.
In my time, we had a name for men who sold bedrooms for one night.
Innkeepers? A better question might be, what do you call someone who rents a room for 1 hour to adjust their microphone pack? Speaking of naughty bits, social media's artificial intelligence is constantly trying to sort out what's art and what's dirty. And no case illustrates the struggle better than when a woman recently posted a photo of the Venus of Willendorf, a 30,000-year-old statue of a fertility figure, but Facebook ruled the picture was pornographic and removed it. Oh no! Now where will people find naked pictures on the internet? Now, keen-eyed viewers may have noticed that CBS is actually making us censor her, shall we say, Willendorf. And you might be saying, seriously? She's 30,000 years old. Yes, so are CBS viewers. Facebook apologized, but Vienna's Natural History Museum, where the statue resides, wasn't happy about the censorship. So now Vienna's tourism board is trying a different approach, showcasing the museum's art on OnlyFans. Great. So now when you're looking for art, you got to pay to unlock content. Send another $20 and we'll touch more than fingers. Apparently, now that it's over on OnlyFans, subscribers to the Vienna Tourism Board's page can check out explicit works, which is great for art, but really bad for horny dudes who accidentally stumble on a Picasso. Wow, look at her, I'm gonna say, boobs? That's that cluster of triangles, right? There's 7 of them, maybe it's... forget it, I'm gonna go look at some George O'Keeffe's. But art isn't the only thing Facebook is ruining. They're still facing accusations of endangering teens, spreading misinformation, and destroying democracy. So they're doing the right thing, rebranding the company with a new name. But that new name is a closely guarded secret that's not widely known, even among Facebook's senior leadership. Well, that's surprising. Facebook has leadership? Sure, why not? Just in case they haven't settled on one yet, we here at The Late Show have come up with a few appropriate names. Like Pinsurrectionist, Dick Talk, Aunt Brenda's 3-paragraph rantatorium, Best Fun Times America website, and the Washington football team. We got a great show for you tonight. My guest is the star of HBO's Insecure, Issa Rae. But when we return, did you read your book club book? The answer is no. Stick around.